Yar, I am GreatBobloxReviews. Today, ye be reviewing a game called The Turbulent Seas. The Turbulent Seas is a pirate game made by RawEggTheGreatIX. This is a game where players must deliver their packages with UPS boats, earning mad money per delivery. Watch out, however, as there are players that will steal your precious cargo. Ye pirates will viciously attack thou innocent merchants, potentially sinking thy vessel. Fortunately for ye merchants, they can equip thy ships with thy cannons to fight back. Some players might even go the extra mile to fight a giant sea monster. When players first start the game, they will see a menu. Players can view the update log to see what new things they have added. Players can also click the play button. When players click the play button, they will have to choose between good and evil. However, players must reach level 3 to play the evil team, which proves that Two-Face was right. Players can choose to spawn in their last ship, or they can spawn in a port city. When players spawn in, they can view their character's inventory by pressing G. They can also view a map and manage the crew, but first we must build the ship. Port cities are a main part of this game. New players will randomly spawn at one of the port cities. Players that rejoin the game can spawn at the last island, which is neat. I spawn in Volney, as you can easily buy barrels full of iron. There are 4 port cities spread throughout this map. There's Ariesland, Volney, Hordelo, and Dubin. There are also a ton of outpost islands spread throughout the map. With these islands, you can harvest resources and build ships. To progress faster in this game, players must collect wood and rocks and turn them into weapons of mass destruction. With this, players can build furniture, craft tools, and dominate the seas, oppressing any merchant who doesn't comply with your pirate tactics. Players can craft pickaxes and axes to chop down trees and mine valuable ores, which they turn into guns. But first, they must spawn their ship in the port. Then, players can enter their floating palaces to refine these resources inside the ship. To spawn these ships, players must use ports. Ports can be found in port cities next to water. To spawn these wooden holes, players must walk up to a table and select a space to spawn their beautiful ship. After a player has spawned their ship, they can customize it with the dry dock. Dry docks look like giant concrete beaches with ramps. Before you put the ship into dry dock, however, you must make sure all the furniture is placed down and all items are in storage, as to not mess up anything in the dry dock menu. You can put the ship in the dry dock by talking to the shipwright. They're in a building next to the dry dock. Players can also build bigger ships by talking to him. Players can use these ships to earn money and trade products. Players can make money by purchasing barrels from mysterious merchants and then giving them to even shadier and more questionable people. These barrels can be bought at a nearby shop near the port. Another thing players can do is have no privacy and have the shop come to you. Then players can buy barrels and place them in the cargo hold. Players can sell barrels in the same manner, but backwards. These barrels and furniture pieces will save when a player leaves and rejoins the game. Watch out though, as players can get robbed by the sea outlaws. When players finish the tutorial and don't read the controls, they will quickly rage quit and report the game for being broken. To control the ships, players must first raise the parking brake and slowly let off the clutch. Make sure the mast is perpendicular to the flag as to get the most wind power. Players can turn the ship with the helm. The helm will stay in one direction and will not center out on its own, so keep that in mind. Players can also invite crew to man the guns. How do you even put guns on your ship? You craft them with the materials you collected. I hope you did that. Crafting is another important thing to this game. Players can craft items with the crafting bench. I recommend that players craft a couple of pieces such as the cannons, wood saw, and the internal magazine, as they are all pretty cheap. Players can also place furniture on walls to confuse the invading pirates, stealing their cargo. All new players will start off on the merchant team. However, you can also become something better, a pirate. Pirates are an interesting part of this game. As a pirate, you can steal players' barrels and sink their ship. This is the type of team I enjoy playing, as I get immense satisfaction when I sink a player's ship. Pirates will usually spawn in outposts. With outposts, you can sell mysteriously acquired items at a steeply discounted price. Players can invite people to their crew by saying /crew and the username. These crew members need food, so the captain must place beds and stuff it with food. Players can make these beds using the workbench. The captain can also kick players from the crew. Combat is probably the top 3 most important things a player should know. You can fight off these pesky pirates with the cannons, which players craft. Cannons are pretty horrible guns, which require massive compensation for gravity. Cannons can be equipped using the dry dock. You can put magazines next to guns so they automatically reload. When a cannonball unfortunately lands on your ship, it will punch a hole through your ship. You must patch this hole, no matter where it is, as water will leak into your ship and you will die. However, you can patch these holes with wooden planks. Port cities also have cannons that will aimbot any pirate that tries to ruin a new player's day. However, if you want to just play with friends, you can get a private server for free. The galleon is the biggest ship a player can sail currently. This game is also going to get a massive update, which includes NPCs that follow the captain's orders, no matter the morality or the consequences. There's also a giant sea monster which players can fight, but it's unfortunately very hard to do, as you can no longer obtain the sea monster bait. However, 3 a.m. in game time, you will always hear the roar of the beast. This game also includes written music by the developer himself, RawEggTheGreat. After becoming a honey multi-millionaire, I realized that bees were overrated, so I crash-landed my massive flagship into the bee planet, destroying it all. Then, I flooded the bee planet, turning it into this beautiful ocean planet. Where is my ship, you may ask? Well, it's secretly hidden beneath this island, waiting. I start out chopping down trees and buying barrels full of iron, because only cheap people mine. With these materials, I craft cannons and weapons of mass destruction, so I can start a massive pirating campaign and earn enough doubloons, which I invest massive amounts into R&D to develop airships. While the ships are getting built, I run this ship with a random crew member, recording cool camera shots. Then, me and that random crewmate annihilate the server, renting galleons for their loot, and barrels, which I use to buy galleons full of loot and barrels. Then, with my Builderman fortune, I buy an airship and an attack helicopter made of wood to dominate the world. I have become so powerful, I have kidnapped the developer of this game, so he can become my puppet, which I use to promote underrated Roblox games. But that's all I have, for now.